And let me quickly show you what you get inside the box. You get some paperwork with the smallest fonts ever, so you're going to need a magnifying glass if you are going to read this. You also get a wireless charging pad with a Type-C connector and the Galaxy Watch 7 itself. Alright, now let's talk design. The watch itself is made from an aluminium watch case, and on the back you can see the new 13 LED bioactive sensors, which is supposed to take that accuracy to the next level, which we certainly will be testing. And like all Galaxy watches, the amount of sensors they stuff in this thing is actually quite remarkable. So this watch has an optical heart rate sensor, accelerometer, barometer, bioelectrical impedance analyst sensor, electrical heart sensor, gyro sensor, geomagnetic sensor, infrared temperature sensor, and an ambient light sensor. So that's a lot of sensors, guys. Furthermore, this watch has a 5 ATM plus IP68 rating with military standard 8108 certifications. So you can go swimming with this watch on and you can track your swimming stats. It's a solid watch designed to last and finished with ultra tough sapphire glass on top. So technically, with all those certifications, this is already an ultra watch. Why pay more? Now the Galaxy Watch is nearly like having a mini smartphone on your wrist, with built-in 5 GHz Wi-Fi, GPS, NFC, Bluetooth 5.3, and this is how the watch looks on my wrist. Yes, it's a big watch, and I have a wrist circumference of 7 inches, and the watch is no doubt on the larger side, but I still don't mind it. It's very light, and it's a very thin watch, and at the same time, it's very comfortable on my wrist. Now, I've been wearing this for days and nights without taking it off, and it's very comfy. The strap is also very good quality. And in case you're wondering, the GW7 is 44mm in diameter with a thickness of 9.7mm and it weighs 33.3 grams. Now I went for the silver version with the grey strap to match, and it's a very nice high quality silicone type material with a ridged finish on the front and the back, and it's super comfy and it's designed to be quick drying. And you do have that new quick release button like we saw last year to change the straps, but you can actually swap this out with any third party 20mm strap. Now the GW7 does support wireless charging, and I'll show you the charger in action. It's a magnetic wireless charging pad with a Type-C connector, and it takes around 30 minutes to achieve a 45% charge and just over 1 hour for 100% charge. And speaking of the battery, the capacity for this watch is 425 milliamp hours, which promises around 40 hours, which I would say is accurate. Now, realistically, the way I've been using the watch, I was able to achieve between 2.5 to 3 days of battery life. And to give you an idea of how I've been using it, that's with one 20-minute workout every day. The brightness is set to low, Wi-Fi is off, notifications are on, I turned off the always on display, and all health features are at their default settings, and I've always managed to achieve between 2.5 and 3 whole days. Now, if you're more active and your workouts last longer, or you work out twice a day, then expect the minimum battery life to be at least 40 hours. If you're a super heavy user, you take a lot of phone calls, you have a lot of workouts, you're constantly opening and closing apps, downloading new apps, for those type of heavy users, you're going to achieve no more than 1 day battery, and that's pushing it. Now let's talk about the specs. This watch is powered by the new Exynos W1000, which is a 3nm pentacle processor clocked at 1.4 GHz. So compared to last year's Exynos W930, this one is supposed to be 3 times more powerful according to Samsung. In real-time use, I must admit, it's very nippy. The OS feels more fluid and faster than ever. The watch reboots much faster than ever. So yes, it does feel a lot faster than the previous models. We still get 2 gigs of RAM, same as last year, but this time we get 32 gigs of internal storage instead of 16 gigs. So specs have been improved this year, and the difference can actually be noticed, which is good news. Now this watch can measure your heart rate and your stress levels continuously 24 hours a day. So blood oxygen monitoring can be done manually on demand when you need it, or it can also automatically monitor your SpO2 levels whilst you sleep. Now this watch also has some other features which are usually off by default. I did switch some of them on. So snore detection and skin temperature monitoring whilst you sleep. And this watch can also predict women's health using skin temperature sensor. And you can switch on and off the features as you need. Furthermore, automatic workout detection is on by default. So if you go for a walk, run, cycling, and a few other sports, the watch can detect what you're doing automatically and log the workout for you. It does take a good 5 to 10 minutes before the watch decides that you are doing a workout, but ultimately the workout detection is pretty good. Now coming back to the watch, on the side we have two flat style buttons, one for power and the other is your home button / back button. And you can see a slight orange finish going around the inside of the power button. And in the middle there you can see a microphone hole, and on the other side there is nothing, but slightly underneath you will see a loudspeaker grill. So the watch does have a built-in microphone and speaker for your Bluetooth phone calls. Now on the front we have a beautiful 1.47 inch Super AMOLED display with a screen resolution of 480 by 480 and 327 pixels per inch. The screen is bright and sharp and looks good and visible even on a sunny day. Touchscreen is also super responsive, and you do still have that rather nice touch sensitive bezels used for navigating the menus, which I'm definitely a fan of. Furthermore, this watch is running the latest Wear OS version 5 with One UI Watch 6 on top. You also get the Google Play Store to download all your third-party apps like Spotify, YouTube Music, Strava, Komoot, and lots more. And I can't lie, I really do like Samsung's UI on the Galaxy Watches. You have a lot of great customization options, and everything can be customized directly on the watch, including the tiles and the menus. Everything can be customized to your own personal preference. Furthermore, the watch connects to your smartphone via Bluetooth and uses Bluetooth 5.3 for a stable connection. NFC payments are available, and you have both Google and Samsung Pay, so you can take your pick. Samsung Wallet is already installed. If you prefer Google Pay, just go to the Play Store and download Google Wallet. Then you can add your own card and pay via Google Pay on this watch. So best of both worlds. I'd also like to confirm that this watch does support Bluetooth phone calls, so you can make and receive calls directly on the watch with access to a dialer, contact list, recent calls, and lots more. So this watch basically means you can leave your phone in your pocket for many tasks. Very quickly, let's talk about compatibility. If you use this watch with a Samsung phone, all the features are going to work. You're going to get every single feature that is jam-packed into this watch. And there are so many new features that now I strongly advise you to use this only with a Samsung phone. Because if you don't, you're going to miss out on a whole bunch of features. If you use this on a regular Android phone, it will work, but this is what you don't get. So you won't get irregular heart rhythm notifications. ECG and sleep apnea detection will not work. Galaxy AI and energy score will not work. Double pinch gestures and suggested replies will not work. So that is actually quite a few features there. Last year and before that, it was just ECG and blood pressure you don't get. Now you don't get a lot more. So if you're going to buy a Samsung watch, only buy it if you've got a Samsung phone. And in the long run, it becomes pointless having this watch in the first place. So to take advantage of all the features, make sure you have a Samsung phone or just buy a Samsung phone with it. All right, so time to check out the watch faces. This is the default watch face, and if you want to change, you keep the center press, you'll feel some haptics, and then the screen will zoom out. You can now swipe left or right to choose a different watch face, and there are quite a few watch faces to choose from, and that includes the Google Play Store, where you can download hundreds, if not thousands, of different watch faces, both paid and free. So I'm just going to share with you guys my favorite watch faces of the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7. Here we go. If you like your watch having an always on display, let me tell you right now, Samsung's always on display is absolutely amazing. So you can see the screen is dim, but you can still see the watch face and everything on there. You just flick your wrist and then it brings the screen back into full glory. So I love that transition where the screen fades out. It's very smooth. It's done really nicely. Samsung has done a good job there. So if you do want an always on display, this has to be one of the best. Okay, so now it's time for our heart rate test. I've got my Braun oximeter right here, medical grade. I'm going to stick it on my finger and turn it on. At the same time, we are going to try and initiate a heart rate test. So we've already got a reading on this side. It's 88 beats per minute. It's gone to 83. Now you can see the medical grade sensor right there. 85 versus 84. Screen, don't time out. 84 versus 85. 84 versus 84. 83 versus 83. 83 versus 82. Let's see the next change. 83 versus 83. Guys, that is keeping up with a medical grade sensor. Now, we're going to do an SpO2 test. SpO2 is just standard manual test. I've got to stay still. You can see the oximeter is giving us 98%, 96% on the Braun oximeter. We're waiting for the Samsung to give us a result. And 95% on the Samsung. So very accurate. So there you have it, guys. That was my review of the Galaxy Watch 7. And here are my thoughts. So just like other Galaxy watches, the watch is very well made. It's super premium, very attractive in design, with a large Super AMOLED display and 5 ATM and military standard 810H durability. So it's tough, beautiful, large, and yet somehow manages to be very comfy on my 7-inch circumference wrist. The GW7 is the most powerful Galaxy watch I have ever tested. Power is noticeable in everyday use. It almost feels too fast. So well done, Team Samsung, with the new Exynos W1000. Twice the storage than last year is another welcomed update. OS is super responsive. I love the interface, customization options, system menus, and not forgetting the massive library of customizable watch faces at your disposal. Health tracking is accurate for everyday use like steps, walking, running. Heart rate, SpO2, and sleep all work great. GPS is also pretty accurate. And you have that new AI-generated insights for energy scores, which you will see over time the more you wear the watch. Now let's talk caveats. This watch has a lot of health features, but if you don't have a Samsung phone, a large chunk of those features will not work on your non-Samsung device. And finally, heavy users will find that their battery will barely last one whole day before they start looking for the charger.
Hi everyone! Today I wanted to share my thoughts on the Galaxy Watch 7 that you can get on Amazon. This one is the Bluetooth version and it works really well. It's actually pretty cool. This type of watch face, you can actually see your steps here on the side, but you can actually choose from a lot of different watch faces on the app, and you can get your notifications right here, which is the #1 reason that I bought it. You can customize it as well. You can use it to track calories or water. What's also nice is you can actually use it to track your sleep and then like your heart rate and your stress. So overall, it is a really great smartwatch, but it's also a really great fitness tracker as well. It's completely customizable, and the watch face is actually pretty big. I also like how when you put the watch band through here, there is not the extra band. It actually goes on the underneath, so it just seems like it's more of a cleaner finish. This one also has like the silicone band, so they are pretty easy to clean. The way that you charge it is you just lay this flat down, so it is also really easy to charge, and there's nothing you necessarily plug in. So I use mine for steps and fitness tracking, but also notifications. It's just much easier to look down at my wrist than to check my phone, every few minutes, especially when it is a high notification day. So if you are looking for a new smartwatch, I would highly recommend checking out the Galaxy Watch 7. We have had really great results so far, and I really, really enjoy it.
So now that I've been using the new Galaxy Watch 7 for a few days, I thought I would go over some of the things I like about it and a couple things that could be a deal breaker for some people out there. So let's go ahead and get started. Probably one of the best parts of this watch is definitely the style and build quality. I know some people only wear a watch because of how it looks or it's going to match what they wear. I know for me, it usually gives me a good tan line on my wrist, but with the new band design and color options, I feel like this is one of the best looking watches from Samsung. It's just got a nice and clean, a little more minimalistic look to it versus the larger Ultra version. Although the look of the Ultra is starting to grow on me. I also feel like the size of this watch and how it fits my wrist is just about perfect. It looks large but not too large, and it's nice and lightweight compared to my Watch 6 Classic. Now, one thing that I don't like so far about this watch is the battery life. I've got the 44mm version, and with my older Watch 6 Classic, that's 47mm. I could get about 3 days if I don't do much exercise, and I try to watch a lot of Netflix and YouTube, try to conserve my energy for later. That's only with a few notifications turned on. Well, with the new Watch 7, so far it's getting slightly less at about 2.5 days max. But even if over the next few weeks, let's say this levels out and finally gets about 3 days max. That's not better than my Watch 6 Classic, which I was hoping for. So as you can imagine, if I start exercising on a regular basis, like I should, the watch is probably going to last about a day and a half at best. Nice thing is it seems to charge up fairly quick, so you don't have to wait that long to start using it again. Again, the battery life on here is not necessarily a deal breaker, just something that I thought I would point out. Another good thing about this watch is the software. I feel like it's got more than enough features than I would ever use. It's pretty smooth. It's got a ton of ways to customize things, add tiles, track workouts, lots of different watch faces, and so on. You can even talk to people through the speaker on here and hear them clearly. I've been getting notifications on a pretty regular basis so far, and I think Wear OS keeps getting better each year. So overall, I really like the software on here. It's definitely a step up from some of the other watches I've used that have mostly basic features. Now for me, one thing that could be a deal breaker with this watch, and it's something I've noticed with other Samsung watches, I sort of mentioned this briefly in my last video, it won't record floors climbed. I counted. I currently have 13 steps in my home and I can run up and down those 500 times, and I look down at my watch and it says, nope, you haven't climbed any floors yet. Nice try though. So I don't know exactly why this would be, because my Pixel watch has no problems tracking floors. The best watch I have for tracking floors is probably my Fitbit Versa 4. So yeah, if you do this kind of training where you go up and down floors quite a bit, this probably isn't going to be the best watch to get. This watch does have a lot of other good things though. It's got precise GPS, twice the storage of the previous Watch 6. I feel like most people will enjoy the Galaxy Watch 7, especially if you haven't used a Samsung watch before. But if you already have the Watch 5 Pro, Watch 6, or 6 Classic, I'm not sure if this will be enough of an upgrade. Obviously, there's a lot of variables though when it comes to watches, and some people aren't too worried about charging their watch every day. Others prefer almost a week of use using their Fitbit before even think about charging it. The screen looks really nice on here, and it seems plenty bright enough even when outdoors. I also feel like this has better value than the Ultra watch considering the features. So hopefully this gave you a few things to think about when it comes to the new Galaxy Watch 7. So far, I like most things about it. There's just a couple things that could be better in my opinion. But if you like phones, tablets, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on, so you'll want to keep an eye out for those upcoming videos.
I've been using the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 for a few weeks now, and it might be my new favorite smartwatch. Let me tell you why. Depending on the model, it measures about 2 inches by 2 inches. I find it super lightweight and comfortable. The size looks great on my wrist, and the straps are interchangeable, which I love customizing. The casing is made of aluminum, and the glass is sapphire crystal, making it durable, responsive, and premium feeling. I personally love its sharp, high-resolution AMOLED display, which makes reading notifications and tracking workouts effortless. I also find the health monitoring features really helpful and impressively accurate. Plus, I can track everything on my phone, as the two connect seamlessly via Bluetooth, making my life that much easier. It includes tons of features I love, like heart rate monitoring, sleep tracking, GPS, stress management, and more. I also really appreciate how much I can customize the watch faces. There's truly one for every occasion. I honestly think it's the best way to stay connected on the go. I can quickly check notifications, text, and call. With Galaxy AI, I even get text suggestions based on my conversations, which makes replying super quick and easy. And I never worry about taking it anywhere because it's extremely durable and rated IP68 for water resistance. The screen is smooth and intuitive, and the settings allow me to enable various gesture controls that are both fun and practical. I love using the Samsung Galaxy Watch 7. It's a fantastic everyday smartwatch, packed with amazing and useful features. With its premium design and functionality, I think both fitness lovers and tech enthusiasts will be very happy with this choice.
So I bought the new Galaxy S7 watch, and let's unbox it. Now it came with a USB charger and instructions, but setup is super easy. You just simply turn it on and this watch will actually walk you through the setup. Now I really like that there are so many awesome features. This watch has Bluetooth built in, so I can accept calls through my watch. I can stream music through my watch. The watch even has a heart rate monitor, a sleep tracker. Y'all, I can even keep track of my daily steps. I can control my camera and read all my text messages from this watch. Plus, I can add more features with additional tiles. This watch is everything, and I recommend it.
Hello, I just want to do a video on this Galaxy Watch. It is really good picture. You can change the face. It's pretty good size. This one is the 44 millimeter. I like a little bit bigger, but they do have a 40. It has tons of things that you can put on there, and it tracks your sleep. You can track and do an EKG. Obviously the weather, foot, it does your steps. It's just a really good watch. I have had the original forever, and it was just time for an upgrade. And I really like it. I'm really happy with it. I highly recommend it. Thank you.
So I've been using the Galaxy Watch 7 going on 1 month now. So I thought I would do a quick update on how things are going. I have to admit, I was getting a little worried about battery life after the first week or so because it kept getting worse and worse the more I would wear it. But luckily, Samsung pushed out an update that seemed to fix the battery drain issue where I could get almost 3 days with light usage. I'm not sure what was causing the battery to drain so quickly, but luckily that seems to be fixed now. For some reason, it still doesn't record floors climbed. I haven't really heard anyone else talk about that. It still always reads 0 for me. I know my Fitbit Versa 4 and Pixel Watch, I have no problems with that. I do wish Samsung would do something similar to what OnePlus is doing with 2 processors in their watch. I know with the OnePlus Watch 2R, I was getting almost 1 full week with light use. So pretty much right there with my Fitbit Versa 4, even though it's got Wear OS on it. But I do like the style and build quality on the Galaxy Watch 7 a little bit better than on the OnePlus Watch. I also like the software a little bit better on this watch as well. I know not everyone is a big fan of smartwatches because it feels like you're getting the same notifications that you would get on your phone, but for me, I like to go into the settings and only turn on a couple app notifications that I feel that are important if I'm away from my phone, and by doing that, it definitely helps with battery life as well. The nice thing about the band used on this is it's the same 20 millimeter. It's pretty similar to a lot of others out there. I feel like there's probably thousands of options when it comes to bands for this watch, since it's using the same connection as a lot of the previous Galaxy watches. This one also has a fairly slim style to it compared to like the Ultra or the Classic. The one thing I also like about smartwatches like this is it sort of motivates me to be more active, since I can see how much I did or didn't move each day, and then I'm like, oh wow, I should probably move around. Of course, it's also nice you can use this watch with any Android phone. The sleep tracking seems to be pretty accurate from what I've seen. I do feel like the steps on here, it sort of feels like you have to work a little bit harder to get the same amount of steps as my Fitbit Versa 4. Although with this watch, when I'm mowing, it doesn't add thousands of steps like my Fitbit, so it's not quite as sensitive as my Fitbit. There's definitely a lot more stuff on this watch than I would ever use, like the gestures. I don't really use those. I don't use the always on display either, but it does seem pretty sensitive on auto detecting walking, and then it shuts off pretty quick after I'm done walking. The other thing I like about this, probably over my Watch 6 Classic, is the weight is quite a bit lighter, even if I do miss using the rotating bezel sometimes. The digital bezel on here is nice though, and works in a similar way. You're also going to get most of the features from the Ultra on this watch, even the same processor and size of screen. You just don't have the large bezel around it, but of course in a lighter size, and you've got 2 different size options where you only have one with the Ultra. I haven't had any other glitches other than the battery drain issue, which like I said seems to be a little more normal now after the last software update. But as far as the overall software